Hello. Welcome to Promise Resource Network. This is Expansions with me. I'm Jane. I'm going to give everyone a moment to tune in. I don't know where you are, but here it's rainy and cold and gray. Mm, got my heat turned up. So hopefully wherever you're comfortable. Wherever you are. I hope that you are comfortable and well. So I am lighting my Tuesday night sage. I added cedar to this one, so it's sage and cedar. So good. Hey Travis, hey Linda. Oh my gosh, how are y'all doing? You ever say something and sound and you hear how you sound and you're like, I sound like a country bumpkin. I just had that moment. Thanks, y'all. So hopefully you're doing well. Good evening to my mother. Oh, great weather up in the Indiana. Well, good for you. I'm happy for you. Really, I am. Oh, y'all, it's Tuesday. I'm excited about tonight. If you all could see what all I have sitting next to me. Good evening, Kim. How are you? How you been, Kim? Hopefully you're doing well. Y'all, Kim Porter, she's gonna be the beautiful voice that you get to talk to if you ever call the front desk. Which let me go ahead and share that number. If you ever call the front desk at Promise Resource Network, you will get to talk to Kim. Why would you call the Promise Resource Network front desk, you ask? Well, if you want to be of service, if you want to volunteer, if you want to work for Promise Resource Network, if you're looking to be a peer support specialist, if you're looking for peer support, if you're looking for more support in your life, call the front desk. The number is on the screen and it's 704-390-7709. So call that number if you're like, you know what, I really want to do something more with PRN, whether it's receiving or giving, call that number. And while I have this on my mind, speaking of other numbers to call, y'all, PRN has a warm line. I'm sure you know about this because it's like cool and everybody knows about it by now. But if you don't know, you need to know. And it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, toll free. Is it toll? I don't even know. It's a free number. Either way, you call it, it's confidential. Whoever's going to be on that other line, the other end of the line, is going to be a listening ear. So, you know, sometimes you just want to like tell somebody something and maybe your friends or your family just don't understand or they're just not going to get it. Maybe it's something you want to share that's really great or something that's really not. You can call the warm line and get some loving. So call that number. It's 833-390-7728. So now that I have remembered those things, and if y'all catch the other stuff I do, y'all know I don't remember those things very much. So I'm really glad that I did. So as we start to connect here on this expansions where we get to dive into and explore and expand the spiritual dimension of wellness, which I say this every time, it's one of my faves. I mean, let's be honest. I feel like everything that I do for Promise Resource Network with Promise Resource Network is actually one of my favorite things. But I really like it because I feel like a lot of people chime in on this. So if at any point in time you feel called or compelled to chime in, to add your 2 cents, to ask a question, whatever, please do. I try to read the chat as I'm going. So I would like that. So, you know, I'm going to get comfy. So let's all connect, shall we? So let's ground in. Just start to breathe. Just become aware of your breath. Breathe however you want. Maybe that's big, full breaths. Maybe that's little baby breaths. But wherever you are, become aware of how you're breathing. Maybe you choose to deepen it and expand it. Maybe you choose to be a witness to it. It's all good. Just breathe. Become aware of your body in this now moment. Maybe things are uncomfortable. Maybe things are actually really comfortable. Tune in. See what areas are tight and tense and see what areas are actually really relaxed and comfortable. Be a witness. Just check it out. And then start to notice the sounds around you. Maybe you notice the sound bowl. Just notice the sounds. Maybe you hear the sound of your breath, the sound of the wind, maybe the sound of birds, children laughing, whatever it is you hear, just notice it. And now notice the silence. Maybe you're in a noisy environment. There is silence between the sounds. See if you can tune into that space, the silence. Can you feel it? Can you hear it? Can you sense it? Can you be a witness between the sounds and the space between? We're going to talk about sounds. So take a big full breath in with me, y'all. And sigh it out. It's my Tuesday ding-along. Makes me think of that song, My Ding-a-ling. It's an older song, but I remember hearing it on the Funky Faves 8-track in my dad's green car. Yep. Oh, God. I don't remember who sings it, but it cracked me up as a kid, and it still cracks me up now. Anyway, y'all, I want to talk about sounds. I want to say hey to Tina, who's joining us. Hey, Tina, what's happening? Hope you're doing well. Just decided to fix my hair as I was looking at it on here, and I'm like, oh, gosh. Anyway, y'all, I have been in the past 2 years now. I have been singing. Now I'm not like trained. I don't know how to sing. I don't care. And I've been compelled to sing, to chant, to sing in groups. You know, I grew up mumbling in church. You know, when you have the B-Blay out and everybody's singing and you're like, like that. Yeah, so that's what I did. And then I remember in like 5th grade, we had to take like chorus or whatever, and I remember doing the same thing then. Like I was afraid to sing, right? Like I was so afraid to sing. And I guess it was about 2 years ago, someone came over and chanted, and I sang with them, and I liked it. I was like, well, this is silly that I haven't been doing this. And I realized that I didn't make any sounds before. Like I didn't sing in anyone's earshot because I was so afraid that I was going to be judged, right? Like extremely afraid. Like, cat got your tongue. I'm not going to make a sound, not even a peep, because I was that afraid to sing, right? Tell me if y'all feel this. Like, are y'all singers? Do you sing? Do you sing in public? Do you sing in the shower? Like, do you share your voice in any way, shape, or form other than in conversation? I'm very curious if I'm the only one that's gone through this experience of really just being ashamed of the sound of my voice, other than when I'm like talking, because it's just, it's my voice and I'm going to talk. I don't know if you can tell. Tina's like, you're not afraid now? Nope, I am not. Linda's like, sing. Hey, Alan, I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you're back. Do you all sing? Do you all ever sing and it where people can hear you? I remember my mom's like, no way, right? I remember standing next to my mom in church and everybody would be singing. I'm like, okay, I guess we got to sing. And get ready to, I would inhale and I'd look at my mom and she would be doing the same thing. So I was like, well, if she's not going to sing, I'm not going to sing. Like, that's my mom. She's like the goddess. And if she's afraid, then I definitely got to be afraid. Right? So I'm curious, do you all sing? Hey, Amanda, how are you? I'm so happy you're joining. Do you sing, Amanda? Where people can hear you? Yeah, I used to sing in the car and then like I would get to a stoplight and I would stop singing or I'd roll up my windows. I would sing in the house with music on, but even when I was married, like if he was in the house, if he had been in the house, like I wouldn't sing, right? I was like completely like voice paralysis. Not gonna do it. Amanda sings. Yes, that makes me really happy to hear. Not that if you don't sing, it's not going to make me not happy, but I get very excited when people have the courage to sing in front of others. See, Travis only sings by himself. Tina says sometimes, but not in an elevator, although that could be fun. That would be really fun. Wee! Anyway, yeah, right? It would be fun in an elevator. Yeah, like I feel like there's so often like we don't sing. Amanda says, I also play piano. I should say, I just don't anymore. But yes, I definitely sing no matter who hears. Once upon a time, I had a scholarship. What? That's amazing. To Juilliard for vocals? Get out. Don't really get out. Really? Wow. I would love to have you come and sing with us. But for real, we do that. My friends and I get together, which is what I'm going to be sharing in a moment. Yeah, singing is one of those things that, when I just started to let go and just do it, I realized that when I was thinking about the sounds that were coming out, I would trip up, mess up. I would start to feel embarrassed. I would start to judge the sound of what I was hearing. I would start to compare it to what I was hearing from others, whether it was the person on the speaker or the person next to me. And all of a sudden I would feel like I was not good enough. I couldn't sound the same and this and that and the other. Right. And I would like get out of the zone. It's kind of like if you have a speech and you wrote it from your heart, if you're going to share it, you might mess up, but you're still going to get out all the information. But if you're trying to just remember it to speak it, you're going to mess up. You're going to like fall short. You're going to trip up because you get too much in your mind, right? Tina says, Amanda, come sing with us and keep us in tune, right? I'm a bit tone deaf. Amanda says the shower is the best place to sing. I agree. We all sound amazing in there. Can't tell me I'm not Whitney Houston when I'm in the shower. I love that. Yes. I will sing in the shower for sure. Alan, oh really? Alan shares that he sang in a chorus for many years, first the men's chorus, then an SATB course in Charlotte. So I'm used to hearing other singers all around me, never sang solo. So do you sing just at home by yourself or with your housemate or anything like that? Because that's singing solo, really. And YOLO, right? You only live once. Why not? Well, it's interesting because I've noticed also that as I've been singing more in the ways that I have, my pranayama practice, my breath work practice has like gotten better. I'm able to do breath work like longer. I can hold my breath longer when I do breath retention. My exhales can are a lot longer, which means because I can sing more. So I'm actually doing this huge lung workout. And ever since COVID season, which happy anniversary, ever since COVID season started, I want to keep my lungs like healthy, which means I get to use them, right? So not just breath work because that can get boring, So singing is a really great way to keep our lungs healthy. It keeps our diaphragm really moving, right? Because, you got to take a big breath in. So your diaphragm drops. And then as you sing, the diaphragm is going to press up and you're going to squeeze out all the old air in your lungs. And it's super beneficial just for the body. Because then when you take those big breaths in, you're getting like a full body, like blood oxygen combo platter of health and wellness. So after you finish singing for like an hour or so, you're glowing. One, because of the oxygen, two, because you let loose, and three, because you connect to your highest self. You connect to spirit, which is what I want to start getting into. Yes, Tina says it's hard to be sad while singing, right? Even if I'm like singing something sad, I feel better because I guess because I'm getting it out. I don't know, but I feel you on that. Amanda says, I've heard Alan humming around PRN before. Yeah, but I haven't heard him sing, right? We don't need to, but I'd like to get Alan on a mic. And she also shares that singing is so helpful with breath control. Yeah, breath control is how we give our instrument a tune up. Yes, I love that you called it instrument because going into the spiritual dimension here, right? The instrument. We have instruments all around us. I got my sound bowl here. I got my Shruti box. What? I have a xylophone. Check it out, y'all. It's just going to be brief, but it's a giant xylophone. And I love it. I love my xylophone so much. I just dropped one of the sticks. But check this baby out. What? I love this baby. So I'll only be playing it with one stick because I can't reach the other. It happens. The woes. But anyway, these are instruments, right? They're sound makers. I think humans forget that we are the instruments, right? We are the sound makers. We create the sound of source. I am a fractal of source. You're a fractal of source. We're a drop in the ocean, which means that I am a part of the whole. So anything that comes through me, through my breath, my spirit, right? Breath is inspiration, and that the root of that is spirit. I mention that all the time. The breath and sound that we make is literally the sound of source. So every time we stop it and we don't express it in joy and in freedom and liberation, singing words of praise, of devotion, of peace, of desire, of prayer, when we start to judge that, we're literally cutting off the sound of source that would potentially come through us, which not only is that a disservice to self, I feel that's a disservice to, like, I don't know, life on earth. I'd love to know your thoughts on that. Amanda says our body is definitely an instrument. Ever heard someone beatbox? I know, right? Totally amazing. Can't tell me that our bodies aren't an instrument. Yes. Tina says, did you know sound creates waves that can create patterns on items like pottery? Yes. In fact, I showed the kids that yesterday. I teach in energy hacks, and I teach them like all about energy and stuff like that. And I showed them videos, Tina, about how when you place certain frequencies, they've done studies, and it's like basically a plate, and they put sand on top, like granules of a sand material, and then they plug it in and they play a certain frequency of music, and it creates different sacred geometry and different geometric patterns on it. And then they change the frequency and all the pattern changes. And then they change the frequency and it changes again. And it's really fascinating. So fascinating. And it's just gorgeous. Y'all are cracking me up. I like to see, I can see obviously when you all respond to each other. But I don't want to share that because I feel like that's like your conversation. I want to see if I can go gadget this. Hang on. Yes! Boom! Did it. Anyway. So, the people like all over existence have used this instrument to clear and purify the body, the mind, and the spirit, right? And our emotions. It's been medicine, spirit medicine, right? So sound has been something that has been used literally since humans were in existence. And it hasn't been until the last probably 1,500 years where judgment and guilt and shame became real big in the program when there was colonization and stuff, that cultures stopped singing. We stopped singing. We stopped remembering, right? So now here we are, able to remember that it's our instrument. It's this gift to sing. So okay, so what do we do with that? Well, we do it. That's what we do. We do it. I'm so excited. Travis just said that he purchased a Native American flute the other day after your class. It's the first using it. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Yes, that makes me so happy. Play it. Just play. Don't worry about doing it right or doing it wrong. Play. And then you can do online lessons if you want. I'm so happy to hear that. Yay. Oh my gosh. I know, Amanda, I can't wait for the next in-person drum circle. Y'all, I made a drum and I'm not going to show you until tomorrow on Love Talks. I'll share tomorrow on Love Talks at 5. Y'all, Amanda, if you can tune in tomorrow at 5, I know you can always check the replay, but you got to check out this drum. It's so fly. Yes, Amanda says song was also a way to convey messages to others in a safe way at a point in time, like during times of outright slavery, I should say. Right? That's how, because if I'm singing and someone is like bossing me around, being a total whatever, they don't care. As long as I'm doing the job, keep your head down. So I would be singing because I'm not allowed to talk, right? So people would sing to communicate. They would communicate to each other. It's a part of oral tradition, and how stories have been passed down through time. And this is why we teach kids songs. This is why the alphabet is in a song. Y'all are all singing the alphabet right now in your head. Right? When things are in song, we find this rhythm, right? This rhythm is natural, right? Nature is rhythmic. It's all over the place. It feels like chaos because everything has its own rhythm. So when pulling back, we see, oh God, it's all chaos. But if you tune into one, you can hear the rhythm, right? The other day I was getting ready and I heard a bird outside and it sounded like it kept saying, get it, get it, get it, over and over. I don't think it was saying get it, but there was this rhythm and repetitive nature to its song, right? So when we can find these rhythms in the way we are expressing our prayers, one, we remember them more so that we can share them with the future generations, but it also does something for our spirit, right? It does something to our heart when we can find that rhythm, and it becomes kind of safe feeling and kind of holding in a really nurturing, nourishing way. And then we can start to lose ourselves in it, which is part of the point. Yes, Tina says that babies naturally dance at sounds of music, right? We all would be dancing with music, except many of us are told that we're told at some point that we suck at dancing, and so now we're too afraid. #human. #human programming. That's what that is. Womp womp. But so true, nonetheless. So when we can sing, right, we start to lose ourselves. Have y'all ever just gotten into a trance-like state? Whether you were singing or maybe you were in a church or you were somewhere that you got lost in the sound, right? Just you get lost in the sound. Next thing you know, you're like, where was I? You ever been to a concert and that happens? You ever listen to something, the sound, we talked about sounds the other day, and one of the really healing sounds is water, being down by a river or a creek or a babbling brook, and that just sound, and you get lost in it. You start to lose yourself, meaning you start getting out of the chatterbox of the mind and you start to connect to something bigger. Amanda says, in high school, I'd write all over my notes as songs. Oh, you'd write all of my, I'm sorry. She says, I'd write all my notes as songs. So when the test came, I would almost repeat my written notes. That's brilliant. It's the only way I got through certain classes. I also think about Schoolhouse Rock. Yes, many of us can write that I'm just a bill, only a bill sitting on Capitol Hill, right? We remember these things. We really do. Yeah, Tina says that she can get lost in the sounds of the birds and yeah, programming. It is a loaded word, isn't it? Um, but music is powerful. Singing is ridiculously powerful. Playing instruments is powerful. You know, native people, like native humans, have um, been like drumming forever. Just this rhythmic drumming, right? Whether it's to the beat, like a heartbeat, do, 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 right? Or they'll drum with patterns to it and rhythms in it and different patterns of rhythms to take people on journeys so that people could transcend their mind and do their healing work. It's amazing. Yeah, Amanda says even her drive home sometimes you get to the destination, you're like, how did I just get here? Right? Because you lose yourself, you get out of the chatterbox, you know. Tina says, I find it so interesting how your mind works. Amanda, I used drawing and story. Yeah, yeah. Our mind is magical. And because we're a part of this data system where everything we do and experience is just all this information coming at us all the time, our brain is on until we go to sleep, right? So I don't want to have to sleep to get my mind still, even though I do like to sleep. And I also can't just be with my loud mind all the time. I want to be the controller of my mind. I don't want my mind to control me anymore because most of the stuff in my mind is given to me based on what others have told me, shown me, experiences that I've had that have been outside of myself. You know? Tina says, I like to see rhythm and patterns as color or line works in drawing form. Yeah, oh, sorry, I just kicked you off. My bad. Yes. Sounds like synesthesia. Just saying. Yeah, and Tina says even the brain is on while sleeping, right? Because we dream. It's just a different part of the brain. So here's a question. For those of you that do sing, have you ever chanted? Saying the same thing over and over again. I think I mentioned it maybe last week. I feel like it was last week, and I think I like just did like Om Shanti 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 or Om Shanti Om. I don't remember. It was a call for peace. Um, but have you ever just chanted? Um, because and I asked that because when we chant, we start to transcend a lot of things. So those who have had traumas, #human. If you've had any traumas, chanting is surprisingly beneficial. Try it, right? Give it a whirl. Certain chants you might really love, some chants you may not love. Find the ones you like and go with those. If you don't like it, don't do it. Just putting that out there. Yes, happens to gospel singers all the time. Call and response. Yes, kirtan. That's what kirtan is. If you've ever gone to a kirtan, that's what it is. Kirtan is just like the word for call and response. I say this, and then you say it back. Yes. And Maya says, yes, Gregorian chanting is so grounding and amazing, isn't it? It really is. And hey, Tara, I'm happy you're here. Yeah, that's why, if you go into a church where whoever is singing is actually doing it in joy, right? And just like letting it out. I don't care what I sound like, but I'm just feeling it. First of all, they sound amazing because they let go of all the BS chatter that says you're not good enough. And the feeling that one gets when letting loose, letting this instrument open wide and unfurl like a lotus flower and sing songs of devotion, prayer, gratitude, love. It's medicine. It literally begins to heal us. So check this out. So back in the day, native peoples, and I'm talking like the ancients, right? And I don't know if I mentioned this the other day. Doesn't matter. I'm going to mention it now. Would use sound chambers for healing. So they would be these built areas, not overly large, usually round. And the people would go in there, the medicine workers, the shamans, the chiefs, the like the medicine people. And they would go in with the person who was wanting to feel better. Okay. Whether this wanting to feel better person had mental issues, physical issues, emotional issues, or a disconnection with spirit, right? Disconnection with the earth, with the universe, with something bigger, disconnection with love, or they were wanting to go further on their spiritual path. These people would go in there, and the person that wanted to feel better would sit in the middle. And all the tribe would basically sit, not all the tribe, but those, anyway, some of the tribe would sit around them in this circular sound chamber, and they would chant. And when they chanted, the person in the middle would be in receiving mode. So they would not only be surrounded, right, surround sound, by frequencies. So it was literally changing their physical body, because if it changes the way the pattern of sand is, and it changes water molecules and the way that moves, it's going to change the matter of this human. So the physical body would have miraculous healings. They would have a huge like third eye activation, and their crown would open up. So then they would see all that they needed to see. They would get clarity in the spiritual realms. They would connect to the something bigger. So they would connect to their spirit guides, the angels, their ancestors, to God, Him, herself, right? To the infinite. They would connect. Those that had mental challenges would get like miraculous healings. Those that had emotional situations that they just couldn't get through, they would begin to heal them. And there has a lot to do with, intention and all these other things. But just being in that space of listening to the sound would allow them to transcend their pain and suffering. So sound medicine frequencies have been used since humaning began. I feel it's time to reclaim that after we just remembered it, right? Yes, Tina says like cadence in military to teach us timing. Yes, there's rhythm. Amanda says, I think that's why live music is so powerful. The radio and the playlist can get me there, but seeing someone sing in person with a band or whatever, it's a totally different experience. You feel it. You feel it, don't you? When I've been to concerts, there's a visceral experience. I have a somatic experience. I feel it in my body. I've cried at concerts just because the person that is singing to me, I know, and everybody else, they're feeling it. And when they wrote the words, they were feeling it. There's intention and love and passion and devotion to their craft and their creation that comes out of every single note out of their human instrument. It's very powerful. Yes, literally moved, right? Yes. So then it's like, how can we start to use sound, right? If I'm too afraid to sing because what if my neighbor hears me? What if, right? What if my partner thinks I sound bad? Whoopity do, what if? Right? What if it makes me uncomfortable that I have to sing? Well, get over it. What if? What if you got over it and you tried something new and you pushed yourself through a fear that you sound bad? Like, really? You go through this life experience in this body once. This is the only time in your life you will ever have this voice. Ever. And you can change it. You can play with it. You can make it sound all different types of ways. So you can play with it. But please, I encourage everyone, including myself, right, to not let fear stop us from using this source instrument. Ever. Yeah, Tina says, yeah, you definitely feel it at a concert, especially if you're near a speaker. Yes. Tara says, reaching vibrations that connect to spirit. Exactly. I want to share with you all something that I was reading I wrote down what page it was on. 45. So it is a book called Being and Vibration. It's written by Joseph Rael, otherwise known as Beautiful Painted Arrow. Yeah. Thank you for sharing the YouTube channel, Amanda. 46. There it is. Okay. Yeah, y'all subscribe to the YouTube channel and share it with like every other human you know, please. Check this out. I have to share this because it was fascinating. If you ever get this book, it's on page 46. It says, Silent Sound, Where God Hides. There are two aspects of vibration, audible sound and silent sound. To give an example, using a computer, when the vibration is in a state of silence, the silent sound, it's like the computer is searching for answers, right? The silence is that I'm open to receive. What's going to happen next? It's looking for its form. It's looking for the data. It's looking for the information. It's searching for what is going to manifest. The audible sound comes after the silence has found its manifestation. It becomes a live sound. That live sound has an attribute or quality to it that is saying yes to life, saying yes to itself, to that impulse, yes to whatever it is it wants to manifest. It's saying yes to the apple tree to be an apple tree or the plum tree to be a plum tree. The energy of life is flowing in that vibration through the loud, audible sound of calling, which is tuning up that metaphor that it is wanting to substantiate so that it can be in existence, be alive, and grow. I think that was pretty powerful. Silence is powerful, y'all. Like, we all know we need silence. And, you know, it's like when we're singing, you know, there are points of silence in there. The inhale, the pause, when the beat drops, or right after the beat drops, right? That boom, and that like right before right before the beat drops, and you're waiting for it, and then the beat drops, and you're like, yes, and then you can like start dancing around. It's like that. And then there's something else that I wanted to share briefly. If you get the book, it's around page 75, 76. He talks about chanting, the mysteries of chanting. Check this out. Because again, sound is medicine. So the vibratory essence of sound affects the inner walls of the nerves and the blood vessels. The inner walls of each cell resonate, right? It moves. And the power of vibration affects not only the physical cell walls, but the mental, emotional, and spiritual walls imposed by values or belief systems, right? The walls of belief systems, the things that say, nope, I'm not good enough. I'm always going to fail, right? My voice sucks, whatever those things are. Chanting implants in the psyche the basis for the new and fine-tunes the physical body for both spiritual and mental growth. Chanting, singing on repeat. So Tina says, really needed silence this week. Yes, having to purposefully seek it out. Yes. Has anyone else been feeling that? Yeah, me. I have, for sure. And it's really interesting because although singing, right, is a sound, it's, I find it to feel like silence. Because when I am in a space of singing, of chanting, of singing songs of prayer or devotion or remembrance, then everything else tunes out, right? It's kind of like, have you ever heard, so I love the fire department and I'm really grateful for them. And I really hate the sound of sirens. Like, I get it. I don't like it. So I've learned that I can do one of two things to ease the sound of the sirens. I can either do this, which I'm really good at, or I can make a sound. So when I hear the sirens, depending on who I'm with, because it may freak them out, I'll make a noise. I might go rear, 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 like out loud. And because I am creating the sound, the triggering uncomfortable sounds around me that are just too much, I can't hear them as much. So oftentimes when I am searching so much for silence, I will make the sound. I'll do the singing. I'll start singing. I'll start chanting. So that is a thing, you know. Oh, yeah. See the dog. Tina says the dog tries to match the frequency and sound of sirens. Yeah, I think that the dogs are like, it hurts our ears and we can't do this. We have the legs that go out like this. They're like, yeah. Yes, right? The dog animals are like, y'all, that's a weird sound. What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? So even when you're like looking for silence, what does silence bring usually? Feelings of peace, right? And if you're in silence all the time, right? Think about the inverse of this, right? Say you're in silence all the time, right? Say you've been quarantined, ain't nobody visiting you because it's COVID season, whatever, and you just are craving human sound. And oftentimes we turn the tube on, right? We turn the TV on. That was an old school reference. I just called it the tube. But we turn on the TV so we get human sounds. That's not a healing frequency. It's not. It's just not. And it's emanating electromagnetic frequencies that are doing a disservice to the physical body. Just reminding us all about that one. Any hoozles. So when we're craving human connection, human sounds, make your own, right? Like sing songs, fill your home up with your song. Get lost in that moment. Let the brain calm down. Because if you're singing, you can't think about, oh God, what am I going to do tomorrow? You really can't. You become meditative in your state. You literally change your brain waves. You get into a calmer brainwave state. When you do that, you start to lower your stress responders. You lower your stress responders, any physical pain you're in will decrease. Like that. If you're stressed out, any pain that you're in is going to be more. So if you sing and you get in that chant zone, you will physically alleviate pain and discomfort. Now, if you're like, I'm too afraid to sing, and you're like, okay, I'm going to force myself to sing, and it stresses you out, don't do that. It's not Ayurvedic at that point. Just don't do it. Yeah, Tina says, everyone is trying to mourn their own way here. Yes, and at times we step on each other's mourning space, and it's hard. Pam and I took a moment to play cards and sing to our playlist. I felt better. Yes. We're all doing this life thing, and we're coming up on spring, right? This Saturday, yeah. Which if you don't have tickets for your cacao ceremony and ecstatic dance with me, you want to do that. Anyway, but like it's this time for like rebirth, right? It's this time for everything's growing. Well, if you've ever been a seed and it grew into something bigger, there's parts of the seed shell that like had to fall away and die, right? So there's a grief and a mourning process at the same time of like, woohoo, life is good and ever changing and everything is growing. Yeah. So honoring that we're all on this timeline ourselves, everyone else is on their own timeline, and remembering to have fun and be lighthearted and to be in devotion, to give yourself the space and the silence and the chance to explore the sound that only your instrument can create. If y'all have ever been to like one of those, like a choir thing, right? Like Alan mentioned he had been in a choir. It's powerful. Like even when no other instruments are there and it's just human voices being human voices. Wow. It is magnificent. that's been when I've cried. I went to a little girl that I know had like a recital thing, and she goes to a Catholic, or did go to a Catholic thing, so it was in a Catholic church. And so these children are singing whatever it was in this church. I don't even know what they were singing. I don't remember, but it took my heart somewhere and tears came out of my eyes because they were all singing together and being in devotion, and that was medicine for my body, right? Because I transmuted energy with the tears. It was medicine for my soul. It lifted my heart. And it was medicine for my emotional body because when I left there, I felt better. I just felt better. And then, going into instruments, which I'll kind of pick up on tomorrow in Love Talks, we have this instrument to sing with and to chant with. It was probably timelines now, probably like 10 to 15 years ago. I used to go to people's homes and clear the energy out of it, like smudge it and sage it and bless it whenever they would move or have like a shift in their life, into relationship, new relationship, baby, whatever it was. I would go in there and clear the area. And it was before I even knew the power of chanting, like at all. And I just knew Om Mani Padme Hum was it. And I would go in there and I would just chant Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. And I would be, fanning my sage into every corner of the rooms. And over the years, when I'm like, oh, these are the meanings of it, and these deeper meanings. Oh God, that means so much more. The way we use our voice is powerful, and it can do a lot in the space. And if you're like, you know what, I don't want to sing, but you're like, Travis, and you got an instrument. Do y'all play instruments? I just started, like, I've been using the sound bowl for a few years now, just in life and meditations and groups and stuff. But I really started playing the xylophone. I've been drumming a lot. I have a cajon. Just got the Shruti box, and I'm loving that because that, I think, allows me to start chanting, because I just kind of try to tune into that. And I know I don't, but I don't really care. And you all see me during the week when I'm at the school and coming at you live. I play the little xylophone. I think it's actually a Pantone. I think that's what it's called. I looked it up online. They're like $80. I know it's worth it, but still it's like $80. But when you play an instrument and you're not trying to be perfect at it, but you're playing it because it's what feels and sounds good to you, it's way better than you probably think it is. And then it becomes medicine too. So, do y'all play instruments? I want to play my xylophone for a second. Do y'all play instruments? And if so, what do you play? Maybe it's your voice. Do you play drums? And if you don't play an instrument, will you tell me why not? I know some of you are like, well, I don't have an instrument. But then why don't you have an instrument? What stops you? See, like that. It was just fun. Hopefully that wasn't awful because I don't really know what it sounded like on your end. But hopefully it was okay. I'm kind of curious. I'll probably play that back and be like, oh God, I don't need to do that. But still, you look at all cultures and they play music when they come together. When the Christian colonization came in and made everything patriarchal in nature and forgot that, Mother Nature and the matriarch and nourishment and nurturing and compassionate life was a thing. like they would take people's culture away. They would take away their celebrations. They took away their song. They took away the song. Amanda says she can play instruments, but I don't. Lots of trauma around having to learn to play piano. Oh, and I was able to choose for myself. I said no. Yeah, I bet. I bet. Thanks for sharing that. I think that a lot of people who are like kind of forced, right, to put on the show, play it this way. We're never taught how to just play for play's sake and then never loved it. Rather, only felt good about it when they were good enough at it. And where's the joy in that? Like really, where's the joy of that? Alan says, I used to play piano many years ago. Don't remember why I lost interest. He says he still has his piano. Alan, play your piano. Play your piano. Play your piano and sing. Play, please. Remember that it's a part of life is play. Playing and making sounds and laughing and singing and joy. I mean, shit, when people celebrate their solar return, right? We call it birthday. you know, we sing to them. We sing to celebrate someone's mark that they've lived another year. So we can sing that we lived another day. And maybe that's what we sing to ourselves. I'm alive today. I'm alive today. I'm alive today. Oh, yay. You can make up songs, y'all. I do it all the time. In fact, my friends and I have we've been meeting once a week since May. Y'all, most of it's been outside, COVID safeties. Except for those of us that have basically been quarantined together. But anyway, we've been meeting once a week and we've been singing. We've been chanting and singing and playing songs in devotion to lift our frequency and our spirits, to keep our mind right so that we can make it through another week with as much joy in our hearts as possible, with a reminder of why we're here, that this is all the Maya, the illusion. We're here to remember that we are the light in the world and to be it and to do it so that all beings on this land can be liberated and enjoy. And it's been medicine. I think it's really kept me, from completely losing marbles, I think, since the COVIDicus. Ooh, Alan says, I still have the music I played, Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. Wow. Alan, have you ever just played the piano without playing a specific song? I'm always curious about this because I never learned how to play specific things. I just played. So I don't know how to read or technically do music. I don't know how to technically sing. I have a friend though that's going to give me voice lessons, y'all. They sent me a message as a voice message, and it was like Chester Cheetah, Cheddar Cheesa. I don't know what it was actually, but it was something that they just kept repeating. And I messaged them. I'm like, what are you saying? And they're like, oh, that was your first voice lesson. I'm like, oh, darn. I didn't miss that. So we have a few minutes left, and I'm going to put this encouragement out there. And only the gutsy and courageous will do this. And I'm fully aware that it may just be me, and I'm already nervous about it. But I invite you to sing with me. I don't know what I'm going to sing yet. I should probably thought of that, huh? Let's see. We'll figure it out. I don't know. But sing. Maybe we'll just, do you all ever OM? OM? The sound of the creation. It's what they say. It's the first sound that was made. Energy precedes matter, and with that comes sound. So for anything to manifest, usually takes a sound. So I'm going to play my Shruti box because I like it. So I'm going to encourage you to sing with me. So take a deep breath, let it go, and start to feel your body and your presence. Start to cultivate all of your energy, all of your courage, and open up the energetic center in your throat. Be prepared to use your instrument in love and in light. And we'll sing Om Shanti Om. It's a call for peace. That's all it is. Right? And we'll just do it for like a minute or two. So if you're courageous enough to not care what anyone around you thinks about you, I encourage you to sing with me. Om Shanti Om. And I may sound like a fool, and I don't care. Live. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Shanti Om. One more time. Om Shanti And then I sit for a moment in that silent stillness. There's so much magic and medicine to the vibrations and frequencies of song, of chanting, of sound. Giving self that moment after singing, chanting, playing the music. You allow those vibrations to settle in. You feel them. You feel it in places of your body. Perhaps you feel it in your heart, your bones, your breath. Perhaps you notice that your stress is a little bit less. And you get to just be in that moment or two of stillness. So that's just a call for peace. Om Shanti Om. It's just a call for peace. Shanti. Hey Holly, I'm glad you joined us. So try to sing. Look up different chants, different prayers, different devotions, different songs that lift your heart, whether it's Om Shanti Om or This Little Light of Mine, or just a mantra or affirmation that you say to yourself. I am the love, I am the light, I am whole and complete. And you put that out of your mouth on repeat. You find a new rhythm of your day and in your life, and you become the medicine for yourself and the rest of this world. It's what it's all about, y'all. We're all healing. Let's make it easier on ourselves. Let's use ancient medicine. Sound is free and available to all. Just saying. So tune in tomorrow. Join Michael and me at 5 for Love Talks. So we're going to show you something that we created. The next class, Travis, I have creativity tomorrow morning at 10. I'm so glad you mentioned that. Y'all, I know I'm at 7 o'clock, but check this out. Tomorrow during the creativity time, if you can come with headphones, I'm going to be playing frequency music. Like, not that I'm creating, but I'm going to be playing it louder. And it's going to be a lot more of that type of creativity thing. And then at 5 o'clock tomorrow, Michael and I are going to talk about the things that we create together, especially in the world of sound. So I am so grateful for you all for being here with me and tuning in and chiming in and being a part of my Tuesday night expansions. I am so grateful for you all. I love you. Keep taking care of yourselves and each other, and remember how loved you are. Okay, I'll see you all later. Bye, y'all.